Hi! I'm here with another car tutorial. I was running with my friends Renee and Russell, and this showed up. The dreaded battery light. Which means that the alternator has failed. See, I had this happen to me last month, and I didn't do a car tutorial over it because I never worked on an alternator before. But I got a new alternator, a refurbished alternator from AutoZone, which they spray paint brand new, you know, they take it apart and they put them back together, and it was fine. But then this happened last night where it failed. So I'm gonna show you guys what I'm working with. Before I go any further, the battery light could mean other things, but because I know that my alternator failed last time, I do know that that's what happened in this case, because the battery light came on when my alternator died. Now already you can see that this alternator is new, at newer condition. This is a new refurbished alternator because it's clean. You can tell because the coils are still brown. They're not like dirty or anything. So everything's great, but it's saying that the car's running off of the battery, and I don't want that. I want it to be running off the alternator to charge the battery. So in order to prevent me from dying in the middle of somewhere, I gotta take this alternator out. So because I've done this before, I'm gonna make a car tutorial on how to take it off. Okay, great, let's do this. Before you do anything, make sure your battery is disconnected. Don't proceed with anything else. Disconnect this battery. Okay, we just took off the wheel. Oh man, look at my rotor. Jeez, it looks like I ran through a mud pit. Alright, so we're gonna take off this splash guard. You could use your, well, I'm using my finger, but you could use a Phillips or a socket screwdriver to take this off. It's just plastic. You're gonna screw this. Then there's another one over here, but I don't know where the hell that went. Then you pull that sucker off. We're going to be taking out some bolts underneath here. Oh, there it is. There's the culprit. I see you. Yeah, you're going to get taken out, sucker. Now, if your car has power steering, you're going to have to take off the power steering hose. Take off the hose right here, from here. It's 210s. Now, be careful when you take this off, because when you remove the fasteners and you pull it out, you're going to have some power steer fluid leaking. So, just a fair warning. Now that I moved the power steering hose over there, I now can access all this yummy area over here. There's the bad boy. Now, there's going to be a green plug in the back. You're going to disconnect that. It's kind of hard to get through all this crap, so what you could do is you can remove this, remove that, what's attached to the alternator bracket, and you can move that out of the way also. I can get at it from the back right here, so if you don't like reaching spots like that, then you could just take these things off. But you can see my fingers are right here. There, it's unplugged. Woo! Unplugged. There's another one too. It's underneath this rubber, I want to call it a rubber boot because I don't know what else to call it. If you lift this up, you can see exactly what's underneath it. There we go. Booyah. I'm not sure exactly what it is that it's connected to, but what it is, it's a tiny little, I want to say it's copper. It's a tiny little it's not an O-ring, but it's a tiny circle part, and it's sandwiched. I don't know, you'll see it in a minute, but you need to disconnect this. I actually did have to remove that piece, so I removed it, and I got an extension with a 10 underneath there, and you can turn it. Tiny inches go a long way. Little turns. Okay, there's the nut right there. Booyah. Save that for later. What you do here, so you guys can get a better view of it now, there's that little circle thing I was telling you about that's sandwiched between the alternator and I guess the battery. I guess this is what charges it. So you could stick that off. Now that you got those two connectors off, you can now work on the disassembly of the alternator itself. What I like to do first is take off the belt. In order to do that, there's this nut right here that you're able to slide the alternator forward and back so you can remove the belt or install one. Memory serves, this is a 14. Nope, it's a 12. Fail. So grab a 12 socket, and there's barely enough room where you can start cracking at it. Once you got it loose, what you can do is you can pull on your ratchet and then you'll move the whole alternator close to you. At this point, you can see that the belt's loose, and you can just slide that off. See? Belt off. Now you got a free-flowing alternator. Ooh, drop the washer. Well, there's the nut. Save that for later. And now you should be able to move your whole alternator freely. But it's still connected at the bottom. But before we take that nut off, we need to take off this one. This is to the alternator rail, which allows you to move it within while it is fastened. So no longer it's fastened and it's roaming free. In order to pull it out, we need to take this off. This one's a size 14. Oh man, that one was on there good. Awesome, that one's free. Okay, now you can move this whole part out of the way. You need to make as much room as possible, so really push it back out there without trying to damage anything, because this is where it's going to exit. It's going to pull out through here. You actually might, I remember removing this. It's a little 10 that's inside there. Move that, put that off to the side, and you'll have barely enough room. But I'll show you, there's kind of a special way how to get it out from in here, because if you don't pull it out through here, you got to take off the whole bracket at the bottom that holds it. Now we go down underneath the car. Get this bracket right here is what's holding this alternator in your car. You have to unscrew it from here so you can bang it out, and then you can lift the alternator up. I think this is a size 14 too. Let's find out. Perfect, it is. You got that part out. You're gonna see that it's hard to get it out. So, I mean, I don't recommend it, but this is what I do. If you love your tools, don't do this. Just whack that sucker. Awesome. Now that you hit it in a little bit, you can reach through the other side. You can reach through the other side and try and pull it out. See, it's stuck out a little bit. This is it. That little part went from here to out there. It's still gonna be a little hard for me, so I have to go back up on top. Go back up on top and wiggle it a little bit. See if that makes, yeah, it's helping. So you move it a little bit left and right, then you can actually reach through back here. I know it's hard for you guys to see. There it is. It's the most oddest bolt setup I've ever seen, but the more you wiggle it, the less it gets loose. Go back underneath here and try it again this way. You can actually wiggle it from underneath here too. Got it. See, this is the weirdest bolt I've ever seen, but that's what it is. Finally got it. You're gonna need two hands with it. I was like wiggling it. I was wiggling the alternator as I was pulling out from the back, so that'll work for you too. Okay, now the only way the alternator is sitting right now is on that bracket, but we can now pull it out. In order to pull it out, we need as much room as possible. So remember I mentioned this? You gotta take this part off. It's super easy. It's just a 10. This is the cool part. You're gonna need a hammer to hit like a pole or even a screwdriver to hit it from the bottom of the bracket to really knock this thing out. Especially if this is the first time the alternator is being removed, because it's stuck on there, let me tell you. But, nah, yeah, see, okay, this one was easy. This is what we're sitting on. From the bottom end, you might have to hit it with something. You see that this, it's still in the position where it was in. Now what you're gonna have to do is flip it. How'd I get it out? Is it the pulley up? Pulley side up? Okay, see, it's almost up. Okay, it's going to be pulley side up, and you're going to kind of have to angle it. No, I don't want to lose it. This is really hard with one hand. Things I do for you people. Come on. Hold on. I'm putting the camera down. You're going to angle it in a weird way. There we go. There we go. Almost out. Got it. There it is. Piece of crap. Yeah, so you got to play with it a little bit, you know, wiggle it in there, do some circles, do whatever you have to do to get it out. Now that you have the alternator out of the car, you can do a couple things. One is, well, what I would advise is take it to AutoZone, and they have a machine where they can check to see if it is working or if it's not. It's a test to see if it outputs electricity or not. So you can do that. Make sure 100% sure that's your alternator. Secondly, is you can bring your old alternator to AutoZone, because then they'll give you a discount because they recycle them and they refurbish them and then resell them. They clean them, they paint them, and you can get a new alternator that way. The process of installing it is just what you did reverse-wise. So, you know, stick it in, plug it in, you're good to go. Thanks again. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. And thanks. I know a lot of you are going to ask is how my alternator swap went. Well, let's find out. No more battery light, people. New alternator, running good. So it went pretty well.